I never believed that something digital could bleed into the real world until the night I opened that pop-up. It began like every other late-night session when I was a kid. The hum of the desktop tower, the faint whine of the monitor, and the smell of warm plastic filling my small room. My parents were asleep. Their laughter from the living room had long faded. I should have logged off. I remember being drawn to that glowing banner that promised nothing in particular, just a line of shifting text that said, "Do you want to see behind the screen?" It looked harmless, too simple to be dangerous. Primera clicked, Italiano. The cursor froze for a second. Then the screen went black except for a single white dot pulsing in the center. I thought it had crashed, but then the air changed. The quiet thickened like fog. My reflection on the glass darkened until I could no longer tell if it was still me staring back. I heard what sounded like a low breath coming from the speakers, as though the computer itself was exhaling. I remember whispering, "Hello," even though I don't know why I spoke aloud. The moment I did, the pulsing dot expanded into a tunnel of light that felt endless, and for a fraction of a second, I swear, something looked out from it. After that night, the computer worked fine again. No viruses, no warnings, nothing strange on the surface. Yet I began to notice small changes in the house. The temperature in my room would drop whenever I sat near the screen. My reflection in the glass of the monitor seemed delayed by a half-second, and sometimes the glow of the power light stayed on even when the machine was unplugged. I tried to convince myself it was normal, that maybe static charge held some leftover current, but the more I stared, the more it felt like the screen was watching back. One evening, I tested it. I left the computer turned off, sat on my bed facing away, and spoke into the dark. "If you're there, do something." Nothing happened at first. Then, from the corner of the room, the faintest tap sound died. A single key on the keyboard had pressed itself, the letter Y. I laughed nervously and blamed air pressure, but the next key pressed was E. Then SI. Unplugged everything, but the word stayed glowing on the monitor like a heartbeat. Yes. That night I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the tunnel again, pulsing closer. Weeks passed. I grew older, left for college, and the old computer was stored away in the attic. I thought that would be the end of it, but whatever had answered me never really left. In every place I moved to, electronic screens would sometimes flicker when I entered a room. Friends joked that I carried bad luck with tech, but I started hearing the same whisper through other devices, TVs, phones, even hotel radios. It wasn't words exactly. It was a low tone, like breathing layered beneath static. One night during a storm, the power went out across the block, but my phone screen lit up by itself, displaying a blank chat window. The text box filled on its own. "Let me show you." My hands shook so badly I dropped the phone, and the message disappeared. When the power came back, I noticed something scratched into the wall paint above my desk, small letters carved by something sharp. "You opened it. It never closes." That was the first time I realized what I'd done years ago was NT just a glitch. I had accepted an invitation. Life kept going. Jobs, relationships, failed attempts at pretending to be normal, but the thing that lived behind the screen grew bolder. He began using reflections, appearing for just a blink inside mirrors or windows. Its shape never stayed the same, sometimes tall and thin, sometimes crouched low like a crawling shadow. I'd catch glimpses of static where there should be none, tiny snowstorms flickering inside glass. Once, in a crowded subway, every phone around me buzzed simultaneously, and for half a second all screens displayed the same image. That tunnel of white light I had seen as a child. Nobody else reacted. They all blinked and kept scrolling. I was the only one who saw the dark outline moving inside that tunnel, coming forward. I tried to record it once, to prove I wasn't losing my mind, but playback always failed. The camera feed would freeze at the exact moment the presence appeared. The air around me would tighten, cold creeping under my skin like frostbite. I started leaving my devices outside my room, but the whisper still came through the vents at night. Behind the screen. Behind the screen. The last time I saw it clearly was last winter. I'd gone back to my childhood home after my parents moved out. The attic door creaked when I opened it, releasing the stale air of years untouched. In the corner sat the old monitor, wrapped in yellowing plastic. Against better judgment, I plugged it in. The screen blinked to life, colors bleeding across the glass like liquid veins. For a moment I thought it was dead pixels until the light shaped itself into an eye. Not human. Not machine. Just something aware. It blinked once, and the room filled with that same tunnel glow. I wanted to run, but my body wouldn't move. The speakers crackled with a voice that was partly mine. You wanted to see behind it. Now we're the same side. The light swallowed everything. I woke up hours later, lying on the attic floor. The monitor shattered but still glowing faintly from within. Inside the cracks, I saw tiny movements, like silhouettes walking just beneath the glass. I didn't stay to watch what came next. I left the house and never returned. But sometimes I feel static under my skin when I pass a window, as though the glass remembers. Now, as I record this story for whoever finds it, the reflection in my monitor doesn't match my movements again. It lags half a breath behind. I know it's listening. Maybe it always was. Maybe every pop-up that flashes on your screen asking, "Do you want to see more?" is not a scam or a virus, but a doorway. I think about how many people might have clicked it since then. How many faces might already be looking out from the other side. The hum of the machine beside me deepens. The air is colder than before. I'm ending this recording, but before I do, if you ever see a message asking to show you what's behind the screen, don't click yes. Because if you do, you won TB reading stories like this ULB, the one someone else is reading about. And if the lights around you flicker right now, don't look directly at the screen. It doesn't like being watched. If you think the story ends here, look closer. Something's already reaching through the glow to find the next listener. There is another tale waiting, the one that begins the moment you notice your reflection move on its own. Go watch it. If you can still tell which side of the screen you're on.